A world where hopium and common sense collide. Starring the CryptoKeeper and BlockchainCrusader. Welcome to Debate Crypto. It's your boy, CryptoKeeper, and as always, BlockchainCrusader. How we doing on this Magic Monday, fam? We are super excited to be here, as always. And listen, we're going to get into this, but the market is starting to get us a little bit excited again. We were excited about the dip. Well, kind of, right?
Well, somebody was a little shaky.
We bought. Some of us were feeling a little shaky. That's a fact. We bought the dip. And we're looking forward to heading back up. So if you are not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Do that now. We're giving away $500. December 23rd. That's 2 days before Christmas. 5 with 2 zeros, not 5 with 1 0, not 05, but $500. And then make sure that you smash the likes, guys. It's the most simple thing to do, but it's the hardest thing to get people to do, right? I don't know why. 100%. I make a conscious effort when I'm on somebody else's, and Miguel, I don't know if you do this as well. I make a conscious effort to smash likes on other people's page. And the reason I do it is because I know how hard it is over here. We get lots of views and then not nearly the amount of likes. So guys, if you could do anything for us, subscribe and like, we appreciate it. So without further ado, let's get into it. Miguel, what is on the podium this evening?
So today we got some big metrics showing what could be happening for Bitcoin and why things are different this time from May's crash, right?
Okay.
So we're going to be covering that. We're going to be covering Colombia getting involved with Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? The banks of Colombia. So we're going to be covering that. And we're going to be finally, to wrap it up, I forgot what the last one was. What was it?
We're going to be talking about how well, first of all, we're going to start off after the market watch. We're going to talk about how investors have been buying that dip, baby.
Oh, there you go.
But listen, we've been like a chip, right? Just getting the dip. All right, let's get into it. So, Crypto fam, here we go. Let's start off with a little market watch. Just take a peek at the market. Oh, there we go. All right. So Bitcoin up 3.64%. Can't complain about that. We're up over 50K. Guys, side note, 50K is an important number. Why? Well, big, solid, whole numbers are important. People, when they like to put in buy and sell orders, they like these big whole numbers. 50K, think about it. That's a number that you throw out when you want to bet somebody some large, I'll bet you 50 grand, right? It's a big number like that, and it's a whole number, and people like it. So that's a big number. ETH has held really strong. We're only down 3.49% on the week. We're up 4% today. ETH's at 43.20. My girl is hanging tough, bro. Hanging super tough. You know, I heard today, Miguel, $514.21 billion is the market cap for ETH right now. Do you know that is approximately the same as the rest of the altcoin market? I don't know if you knew that, but now you do.
I didn't.
Now you do. Yep. If you add everything else up, that's about where we get to. That was the word on the street. Binance Coin up 7.24%. Solana up 1.56. Solana's trying to creep back up to 200. Cardano. Listen, guys, not financial advice, but one of the things I bought on the dip was Cardano. We're at $1.44. We're up 5% today. Guys, for me, oportunidad in Spanish. That's opportunity, right? XRP was the other one. Well, was one of the other ones because I also bought VeChain, but XRP down at 82 cents. It's up 3.47%. It's down 17.65% on the week. I thought that was an opportunity. I took it. Polkadot, $28. Terra, listen. Terra, it should be, I've been on a Terra, right? This thing has been absolutely ripping. It's up 1%, but it's up 27% on the week. Guys, this thing held through the freaking crash. I don't know what's going on there, but Terra is getting it. Now, let's jump right into it. Crypto investors' interest in buying the dip surged after market downturn. That's what we like to hear. Let's figure out why. So, data from cryptocurrency analytics firm Sentiment has revealed that after the cryptocurrency market downturn over the weekend, investors' interest in buying the dip surged with mentions of the term buy the dip, seeing their largest spike in 3 months on social media. The firm shared its data with over 114,000 followers on social media before adding that renewed concerns associated with the pandemic among larger stakeholders should tell the story. Crypto prices, it's worth noting, plunged over the weekend amid a wide market sell-off that was seemingly triggered by an institution taking profit. CryptoKeeper data shows that the price of Bitcoin plunged from a high of near 57K to under 43K overnight before it started recovering. Reports suggest that an institution sold over $500 million worth of Bitcoin, triggering, quote, aggressive liquidations in the crypto derivatives market, leading to the drop. Miguel, talk to me about why you believe that these institutions are willing to dump on the market that way, and why they play with the leverage traders.
It's all about shaking people out, and that's what happens with the leverage trades, right? You let them sit there. They know that people are playing with high leverage, and if they just drop it by just a little bit, 10%, you're going to get massive losses, and people are going to lose, their bottom. So what happens is the motivation for that is, one, they know they can move the market, so they can short, right?
Right.
Put a high leverage on that, push it down. People get liquidated, people get shaken out of Bitcoin, and eventually that makes them more and more money, right? Because then people get aggravated, they get more time to accumulate at lower prices for longer periods of time, and then when they pump it back up, people start turning on their longs again, long, and then when things get escalated and there's too many longs on there, once again the institutions and the whales are like, okay, time to liquidate these longs and make some more money on the way down again. So they're
Yeah.
making money both ways all day, every day.
Yeah. And one of the things you guys need to remember, that's on point, Miguel. And one of the things that people need to remember is that these institutions are playing with such large dollar amounts that a 20% swing is massive, right? That is absolutely massive. And if they're making money on both sides, right? They're making money coming and going, right? On the way up and on the way down. And we're talking about a 20% price correction. It's unfathomable the amount of money that they're able to make with that. And so, guys, just keep in mind, if you are leverage trading, keep in mind, be careful. I recommend setting stop losses. It is dangerous out there. Be careful. If you are looking to get into trading and you're not currently familiar with trading, we have teamed up with CryptoJeb. We've got CT2A. The link is in my TikTok bio. Actually, we actually need to add it to this video. I think we forgot to do it. But the link is in my TikTok bio, _CryptoKeeper, if you're not following me there. If you want to get into CT2A, it is about 50 videos worth of pure goodness as it relates to technical analysis. Let me go a little farther into the article here. It says, let's see here. After the drop, prices started bouncing as more and more users showed they were buying the dip, which is what we're seeing now. Bitcoin fell from 43.5 along with Ethereum to 3.54. Man, I wish I would have seen. Listen, it happened so quick. It wicked down, Miguel, that I didn't see 3.54. I definitely didn't see that. I saw it back up. Yeah. I saw it back up closer to 4. But they bounced with the largest hashtag buy the dip interest spike in 3 months. Guys, here's what I want to say. Okay. I believe that the talks of the fog around the world, as Miguel and I like to call it, are intended to scare you, right? They definitely are.
Yes.
But listen, the biggest and best opportunity that you had, probably, maybe not ever, but in the last 2 years for sure, was March of 2020, right? That absolute fear drove the markets to absolutely plummet. And guess where we are today, right? Guess who bought that dip, right? And so ultimately, I guess I'm not trying to flex. I'm just trying to say that it's really hard to do, but buying the dip, if it truly is a dip, is literally a necessity in your life as an investor.
And people need to realize that with this market correction, market crash, whatever you want to call it, the fact that institutions are here publicly and are talking about it and are so good and getting involved with Bitcoin, with cryptocurrency, they're not gonna run away, right? Volatility is only scary for retail. It's not scary for institutions. Institutions have a huge bankroll to always buy the dip. And not just that they're losing, because they're not, right? They're never going to be on the losing end of a crash. And realistically, they're the ones causing the crash and causing the
Yeah.
pumps. So
Yeah.
they're making money, but the volatility is huge for them. They're not getting scared. They're not like, oh, Bitcoin dropped 15, 20%. It's going into a bear market. We're going to run away from Bitcoin. We're not buying Bitcoin anymore. They're going to keep buying Bitcoin. Whether they talk about it publicly or not, they're going to be accumulating Bitcoin in the background along with Ethereum and other crypto assets, right? We see Grayscale all the time just accumulating and accumulating and accumulating all types of assets. So that's not going to go away just because we had a 15, 20% drop. I was like a 29, 30% drop, depending on whether you measure the wick or the body of the candle.
Right.
They're not going away, guys. They're
Yeah.
not going away. Things
That's a
are
fact.
very different now when it comes to scaring you out of Bitcoin, right? Back in 2017, when Bitcoin dropped something, when Bitcoin had its parabolic movement and it came back down, right? Nobody knew if Bitcoin was going to come back up or not.
Right.
People speculated that it would keep going, and it did. But there was no public face talking, we're buying Bitcoin. This bank is buying Bitcoin. Yeah, that bank is buying Bitcoin. Yeah, this nation is adopting Bitcoin as legal tender.
Right.
None of that was around.
Yeah. Bitcoin is definitely here to stay, guys. And so ultimately, we believe that there's two things that you can do. One thing that you can do to help mitigate your risk is figure out the amount of money that you can afford to lose, put it in, and let it go, right? Set it and forget it. Okay. This is not financial advice, but check this out. Anyone that bought from 2017, right, to now, anyone with the exception of maybe somebody that aped into XRP at the top. Other than that, you could have aped into anything, and guess what? You would be in profit now. And Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is here to stay. We are talking about global central bank digital currencies. Crypto is not going anywhere. It is just being built upon. Now we have the metaverse, right? Huge. We have virtual reality stuff that's going on that plays into that space. Huge. Augmented reality, huge. All of these things, right, play into the crypto sphere, right? The cryptoverse. And so you've got to be able to do two things. One, you've got to be able to mitigate risk. And two, you've got to be able to tolerate some volatility, right? Miguel's going to bust on me because I was planning on taking profits if we drop below 40. Well, listen, guys, that was
let's clarify. Let's clarify. It's not taking profit. It's panic selling.
Okay. So Miguel was going to bust my balls, like I said, for not panic selling, for setting up a game plan in advance, right? Which is what I'm doing, and saying, I believe that we're in a bear market if we drop below 40, right? For me, it's over 20x gains on everything in my portfolio, right? Which makes a huge, I have more to lose on the downside than I do to gain, I believe, on the upside at this point. Now, that being said, I don't think that's going to happen, but that is my plan that's in place. What I suggest to people is whatever that plan looks like for you, you know what your portfolio looks like. You know what you can stand to lose or what you can stand to stomach or walk through. Guys, just put the plan in place and mitigate your own risk. Now, speaking of that, let's switch over and talk about why. Speaking of, I'm talking about, the crash and how some of my game planning was significantly different than it has been in the past, and I have my own reasons for that. But Quant explains how this Bitcoin crash is different from May's. After spiking ahead of the crash, Bitcoin exchange reserves have resumed downtrend. As explained by an analyst in a CryptoQuant post, the current trend in BTC exchange reserves is quite different from when crypto crashed in May. Side note, pause. It was not even a question about selling anything in May because I knew with where we were in the market cycles, we still had a long way to go. And I'm glad that I took advantage and continued to buy that dip. I also believe that buying this dip, which I just did, is going to make sense as well.
I wonder where all that confidence went this time.
The all exchanges reserve is a Bitcoin indicator that measures the total amount of coins currently present in wallets of all exchanges. If the metrics value goes up, it means investors are depositing their coins to exchanges. Holders usually transfer their BTC to exchange wallets for withdrawing to fiat or for purchasing altcoins. Because of this, such a trend may be bearish for the coin. On the other hand, if the exchange reserve goes down, it implies holders are withdrawing their Bitcoin to personal wallets, as investors usually do for hodling purposes. This kind of trend can be bullish for crypto. Now, here's a chart that shows the trend of the value of Bitcoin exchange reserve around May 2021 crash. So check this out, right? When this crashed, the indicator sharply rose around May 21 crash, right? As the graph shows, Bitcoin exchange reserves were showing an uptrend since a while before the crash.
Yeah.
After
So
price decline, the indicator mostly moved sideways for months. So basically, that uptrend was exchange reserves, which was people putting Bitcoin into the exchanges, which is a bearish signal, right? And then obviously it headed the other way. I think what we're seeing now is check this out. We're seeing the opposite, right? Bitcoin price was going down, but the amount of Bitcoin flowing into the exchanges was going down as well. People were still hodling. Miguel, what does this scream to you?
this screams that basically, whoa, what's going on here?
I got it.
So basically, what that screams to me is that this time, unlike in May, right? May Bitcoin price was going up, but a lot more inflows were happening for the exchanges, and then we eventually saw a big crash happen in price action. This time, things are happening the other way around. Price is coming down, but we're also seeing deposits on the exchanges also coming down. So that means that the shock supply is happening, right? It literally just proves that the price dump was a manipulation tactic. It wasn't, hey, a massive sell off from people just taking massive profits. It was a small group of people that, pushed the price down through a massive sale. But it's not because these exchanges have a massive overflowing amount of Bitcoin on them, and everybody's just depositing their Bitcoins to sell. So it's a huge bullish indicator telling you that this drop, if we were able to recover from Bitcoin's drop in May, this indicator here is telling me that there is still very good likely chance of a huge pump coming, whether it happens in May or it happens in January or whatever the time frame might be. But the fact is, Bitcoin is definitely, in my opinion, and from what I'm seeing on these metrics, not going into a bear market anytime soon.
Yeah, there's a saying that says "swim with the whales," right? And for a lot of reasons, that's a really good thing to do, right? These big money players have these dinner conversations that you and I don't have, right? They know things that you and I don't. So for the most part, that makes a lot of sense. The one thing that I would say, just to be careful of, is that some of these whales also, because they are whales, are able to do things like what we just saw in manipulating these markets and causing other people to get liquidated and causing a downturn to then, guess what, be a whale and scoop all of that back up. So the having your finger on, the temperature of the market, right? Checking that is always important. And that's what we try to give you here at Debate Crypto. We obviously try to give you a good temperature check. We also try to give you, check Miguel's temperature, because sometimes he can be a little, a little hot, little blow off top because he's so Bitcoin maximalish.
Never.
Right?
Let me show you something here and why it's not the way you think it is. That's the wrong button. That's your screen. Let me share here.
He's pulling up his wallet. Folks, spoiler alert, it's just Bitcoin.
I mean, do I need anything else? But no, it's this right here, right? Everyone expecting Bitcoin, when to sell it, when to get out of it. But in reality is you'll never have to sell it when the time is right.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I agree.
And that's how it is, right? Everyone is so focused on the day to day of, oh, should I sell now? Should I buy now? Is the market going into a bear market? Is it over? Guys, zoom out of what is happening from day to day, right? Because if you live that second to second, that hour chart, watching every single hour, every single candle going up or down red, that's not the way to live, right? That's not the way it is for having financial independence. That's not the way you can stay healthy in these markets. the market stay healthy, but you mentally not get mentally fatigued and exit the market at a wrong time because of emotional decisions. When the
Now,
time is right,
hold on
you'll
though.
never have to sell your Bitcoin.
In fairness, though, that also depends on what your strategy looks like. If your strategy, so listen, even when, as Miguel calls it, I was going to panic sell if it dropped below 40, which was my game plan. Even if I did that, right, I still have that HODL portfolio. I still had 20-25% of my portfolio, which still left me with a large reserve if we continue to move forward, right? So the thing to keep in mind is, and this is the reason that we always point towards, I hate saying it, but the do your own research also applies to your portfolio, right? You've got to do what's good for you. And ultimately, if what makes sense for you is set it and forget it and not have to be doing this analyzation, this analysis that we're always doing, that we are doing every single day, then great, do that. If you want to be a trader, though, you need to be head and hands in, and you need to be trying to buy every bottom and selling every top, and buying every bottom and selling.
Yeah, but
That's
that's the
ultimately
problem
the
though.
goal.
The problem is too many people are trying to be traders in this
Yes.
market.
Yes.
Too many people, right?
It's hard.
And first, not just that is it hard. The majority of these people are new to the market. They're probably new to crypto, right? They're most likely
Trading
new
is
to crypto,
sexy.
and then they're super new to being an investor in general. They've never invested in anything. They got a few dollars. They hear
Yep.
about this crypto thing, making a lot of money, and then they see Gary V and they see these other people on social media talking about the hustle, the flipping, the
Yeah.
this, the that, making extra
Yep.
cash, and everybody wants to come in and say, well, if I just watch a few YouTube videos and
Yep.
buy what they say and sell when they say it, I'm gonna
It's
make
easy.
money and I'm gonna trade it, and
Yeah.
they end up losing almost everything they have, and they're
Listen.
the ones panicking, freaking out. Oh my god,
Yes.
what's happening with the markets? I
Yes.
believe long-term mentality is the best.
Yeah.
Focus on the long term. Every once in a while, when a short-term trade appears, right? Like, yesterday, certain things were very down. You're like, hey, I can make a 25% on this in the
Yeah.
next couple of days when it recovers. Even if it's a dead cat bounce, you'll get a small recovery, make a quick flip. That's fine. But focus mainly long term. The short-term trades should be that short term and not every single day.
Yeah. So trading is sexy, right? When you first get in, it's like the cool thing to do. You see people looking at charts and you're like, "Oh my gosh, this guy is God's gift to investing." All of these great things, but let me say this. If you are going to do that, this is the reason that we team up with somebody like Crypto Jeb, right? Because he's been doing this for years. He's incredibly good at what he does. The education has to come first no matter what you're doing, folks, right? If you come into the crypto markets, I have a lot of friends that will just call me and ask me, what should I buy? What should I do? Right. I had a friend come over tonight that I hadn't seen in a while. It was really good to see him. I was really happy to see him. And of course, crypto came up, and he's really wanting to get together for me to go over, what he needs to do. And the reality is, get educated, right? We have Debate Crypto Academy. It's debatecrypto.academy, right? The link is in our bio on TikTok, and then it'll be down below in the information in the YouTube here. But what we do is we work together as a team. There's about 45 of us in there right now, and ultimately we work together to get educated. Miguel and I try to help educate the group so that they can make better decisions with their portfolio, right? But that education has to come first. So we have seminars every single week. Every single Sunday, we get together, video call, seminar, boom, what you got going on? What is the game plan? What are you going to do if this happens? How do we handle this situation? Here is how to set up a hardware wallet. Here's the deep dive into DeFi. Just boom, boom, giving that constant education so that they can make better decisions, right? That's what I wish I had. Miguel, looking back in 2017 when I got in, and I think you could agree with this, we didn't have the debate cryptos, right? It just wasn't there. There
There was
wasn't.
no
There was a
education
bunch
back
of
then.
scammers that would, trying
Big
to
Connect. That's all you would see on YouTube. Big Connect this, Big Connect
Yep.
that, all
Mm-hmm.
kinds of scams left and right. None of the people that I watched in 2017
Are still around.
exist today.
Yeah.
None of them.
Yeah. So just keep in mind, guys, Education on the front end will then help you make
Yeah,
better
without
decisions.
education, crypto trading is a sexy way to go broke real
It's
fast.
it's a sexy way to gamble and go broke. You are
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah,
You are
it's
correct.
that person that shows up all well dressed with lots of money, lots of money in their pocket at the casino, thinking they're a top shot, and then they lose all their money in two hands of blackjack, and it's all over for them. It's an early night, go home.
I couldn't be with you more, man. I totally agree. And we don't want that to be you. And that's why we want to talk to you and tell you no matter who you go with, get yourself educated. Real quick, let me just show you. We're giving this away, the Bitcoin Standard. This book, if you guys want to screenshot this, now's the time. This book will help change your life. I'm telling you that right now. Whether you get it from signing up for debatecrypto.academy or whether you just buy it for $15 on Amazon, it will change your life. You should do it. Speaking of lives changing, let's flip over here. Miguel, if you could pull this up. Colombia's largest bank taps Gemini to offer Bitcoin, Ethereum trading to clients.
They
So,
got a lot of money.
yep, they sure do.
They got that narco money.
That narco money. That's right. Got that dope money, son. All right. Residents of Colombia will soon be able to buy cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin directly from their bank accounts. Let's go. You want to talk about bullish? Let's go. It's part of Colombia's new regulatory sandbox, which is slowly beginning to bear fruit as more banking institutions begin to offer cryptocurrency services to their clients through arranging with leading crypto firms. Starting December 14th, Colombians will be able to buy cryptocurrencies through Banco Colombia, the country's largest bank, thanks to a deal that the bank has struck with the Winklevoss owned crypto exchange Gemini. A limited number of Banco Colombia clients will be able to purchase Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, or Bitcoin Cash. Two of those are trash, but any event.
My boy Litecoin hanging in there.
From their accounts as part of a 1-year pilot program. The program will be overseen by the financial superintendents of Colombia, the country's financial regulator. Banco Colombia will handle clients' fiat funds, while Gemini will provide the infrastructure for the exchange and custody of cryptocurrencies, whether for withdrawals, deposits, or hodling of assets. Miguel, let me ask you something. So when they do this, do you think that they're going to be do you think they're going to be setting this up in a way that they're going to actually educate the group of people? Or do you think this is just going to all of a sudden pop up on their freaking banking app and they're going to be like, oh, I wonder what this is? And they're going to have like two little blurbs about what cryptocurrency is. And then they're like, oh, I'll try it.
So I've spoken to some people, not in Colombia specifically, but in Brazil specifically that I know.
Okay.
And they were telling me they come from a wealthy family down there. And they were telling me that yes, in these wealthy circles of these people in Brazil, they've been talking about Bitcoin for a long time and cryptocurrencies. They've been investing in it and they've been getting their hands on it. And we're seeing now in the news some things about Brazil getting involved with crypto, but this has been happening for a while behind the scenes. I would like to believe the same exact things have been happening in Colombia. People with money have been involved with crypto, and they use these banks. They know these people, and they're getting involved now officially, right, with the headlines. But I believe this has been happening in the background already. The people that are working with these banks to get involved with Bitcoin, Ethereum, so on, they've already known about it. They're not going to need that education. It's not going to be for the average retail person.
Okay.
So I believe that that's already been happening. It's just now officially coming to light. I mean, all I want to say is, can you imagine if if we had like the Pablo Escobar today, instead of saying plata and plomo, just saying Bitcoin or plomo?
Oh my gosh, dude. No, I can't imagine because the amount of funds that would be flowing in would be just absolutely disgusting. Hey, if you're in the chat and you think that a shift towards governments not only accepting Bitcoin but pushing it into the banking infrastructure, put a 1 in the chat. If you think that that is a good idea, put a 1 in the chat. If you think 2, this just needs to stay more an of the people type thing that's not actually, getting involved with our banking system, put a 2 in the chat. I'm just really interested to see what you guys think. Let me go a little further into this article here. So the partnership also serves as an important step toward the strategic expansion of Gemini's presence in Latin America, says Cynthia Del Pozo, who leads principal strategy and corporate development at Gemini in a press release. We look forward to working closely with the Colombian crypto ecosystem and to supporting crypto products that empower Colombians to take control of their financial lives. Colombia's regulatory sandbox is unique among Latin American countries, but it has been progressing slowly since it started in April. As Decrypt reported last month, only one of the 9 approved projects has moved beyond the planning phase. The MOVII Bitpoint Initiative, which integrates both platforms so users can buy crypto on Bitpoint via their MOVII, I don't even know how you say that, fiat accounts. The joint Banco Colombia and Gemini project would be the second of 9 to move forward and the first to involve a top cryptocurrency exchange. There are other exchanges, Binance, Bitso, and others, who have their names attached to other projects, but no progress has been made beyond an initial design phase. Miguel, I mean, how can you be anything but bullish about this? I mean, it doesn't need to be the United States right off the rip, right? We started with a really small country, El Salvador. Now we're moving to a bigger country, Colombia, and it's kind of sweeping through. And do you know what I really think? I think the United States, in a really backwards way, is using these countries as a test net
Oh
and
yeah.
basically feeling out where the problems are, where things work, where they don't work, because they know that it's happening, right? I see a lot of twos in the chat. It looks like people are more thinking, "Hey, these banks are not our friend."
I mean, they're
But I'm
not. That's
really,
why I don't buy XRP like you.
oh my gosh, here we go. Well,
I
listen,
mean,
when XRP on its own, without it, the rest of my portfolio puts me into the millions. Hey, I'll throw you $1 or 2.
yeah, at that, I
I'll,
mean, at this rate, I mean, you know where I'm going to go with that, right? Might as well, lead into that narco life because it's going to get me to the millions. So, why not? And there's a lot of other
right,
businesses out there.
right.
We
That's
got, we
right.
got, we got, we
That's
got the
right.
Jeffrey Epstein businesses and all these
Right.
things out
We
there.
should definitely compare XRP to drug dealing
We're
and
talking
child
about we're talking
trafficking.
about banks, right? And banks are the biggest cartel out there. And you're telling me that banks aren't, like, hey, make this happen.
Hey,
So,
let me ask you this there, smart guy. All your people over in Cuba, right? That's your
yeah,
people.
yeah,
Your people,
uh-huh.
how are they going to operate under communism without at least a financial institution or somebody sending money back and forth or giving them the
Bitcoin.
opportunity besides Bitcoin?
Don't need anything else. Bitcoin. That's all they need. There you go, right? The Bitcoin. That's all they need. They need a solution. They need money that is hard, that will not lose value, that is
Right?
not controlled and manipulated by a government. They don't
Agreed.
need a bank. They have
Agreed.
their own. They all have smartphones. They all have their own wallet. They have their
Agreed.
own thing.
Do
Can
you think
completely commerce
XRP
between each
long
other.
term is just for transfer of fiat? Because I don't. I don't.
I I mm,
I think
I
that when we get to the point to where we get a new reserve currency, whenever or however that gets there, if that happens, let's make an assumption. If that happens,
yeah.
I think that the only point of XRP is to actually move and do remittances, to move money quickly, point A to point B, and not pay a place like freaking MoneyGram these huge freaking fees. They're unnecessary. They're unnecessary.
They're
You can use the
unnecessary,
XRP
but at the end
network
of the
to
day,
transfer
why?
assets like that.
So the thing is, the thing that doesn't sell me is why XRP, why banks, right? Why are banks wanting to choose only XRP? There's plenty of
Sure,
other
there's more to it.
cryptocurrencies out there that can do what
I agree.
XRP does plus more.
I
So
agree.
why XRP?
I agree.
Why would banks, governments, whatever, give up their power of how they run their businesses to a company like Ripple?
Let me ask
Why?
you this, Miguel. True story. Would you, if you had the opportunity right now to
Yes.
buy XRP at the
Yes.
prices that I bought at 11 to 17 cents, would you do it?
No. I
Really?
didn't. I didn't back then. I didn't. I mean, it's not like I didn't see XRP. I saw XRP sitting right there. Didn't do it. Conscious decision
Right
of
now, knowing what's going on, thinking that the
I
SEC and this whole thing is a puppeteer game. No.
don't would not buy XRP. It's I said it a long time ago, right? It's like a moral thing for me. I feel like XRP is literally dirty money. It's like making money off criminals, right? Off banks, off things that take advantage of people. It's the same. I honestly
It's the same thing as
feel like
what Bitcoin being spent on the dark web.
no, no. So honestly feel like
Are you sure?
it's what was that?
Are you sure?
I'm 100% sure. People
How's it
using
different?
money for
How's it
illegal
different?
activities. I mean, that happens with the dollar.
Exactly.
Right?
So
That happens with
what's the
everything.
difference with
But
XRP?
because it comes from literally a cartel of banks,
You just
right?
suggested a minute
It's
ago
not
that you
free
wish that
choice. It's
Pablo
not free
Escobar
choice.
was around to say Bitcoin or Plomo.
Yeah, but that's a
Yeah, you
free
were
choice to
suggesting that
use
you would have
Bitcoin.
liked his drug money into Bitcoin.
That's fine. People use US dollars for drug money. I'm not saying people can't use crypto for illicit activities. It's happened already. People use the dollar for illicit activities. I'm saying now there is a institution forcing something down your throat, right? And taking advantage of you because that's what they've done always in the banking system. And then saying, well, I know this person is always taking advantage of me. I know this person does not have my best interest in it, but I'm still going to join their side just because this one time it can benefit me, right? That's exactly what the communists in Cuba do. Everyone says, "Oh, I hate communism," but the minute they're offered a chance to make money with the Communist Party, they're like, "Hey, I'm a communist, bro."
Drop a 1 in the chat if you believe Miguel's full of crap and you think he'd buy XRP at 11 cents. Drop
I
a 1 in
didn't.
the chat.
I consciously didn't buy XRP at 11 cents. I was there. I saw XRP, banker coin, helping banks get more powerful and into the crypto system. I said that.
Okay. Okay. Well, if that's a hill you're willing to die on, I
Oh,
guess we
that's
can,
100% a hill I'm willing to die on, right? I didn't leave stocks and come into crypto because I wanted to make money empowering institutions that I didn't support in the first place.
Jeffrey says the lawsuit is to make people think that it's going to fail while banks register and regulate it. Then the suit is over. They will let the cat out. Hey, listen, part of this I agree with,
100%.
right? Because
100%.
I genuinely believe that this is a timing issue. This is a,
Yep.
hey, we need to get our ducks in a row. And then when
Mhm.
this does come out, it's going to explode, right? Now, $589, guys, I hate to burst everyone's bubble. Not freaking happening. Okay. Do I think $5, $10, $15? Yeah, totally doable for real. And that's some wild, wild numbers, but it absolutely can happen, especially if at some point it takes over the Swift system. That ultimately is what you'll hear XRP maxis say all the time, that it's taken over the Swift system, that it will transfer $5 trillion worth of capital every single day. And because of that, it is going to be massively, massively profitable asset to be involved in. For me, when I first got in it, true story, I just knew that I thought I could make money with it. There was no moral high ground for me or low ground or whatever. I ultimately was still at that point in my life 5 years ago, still making some questionable decisions. Actually, not even questionable, downright wrong, right? And now that I look back, those are absolutely still bad decisions, and XRP was still a good
Yeah.
decision.
I just want to
A-okay.
address it. I want to address a comment here real quick. Money doesn't have size, just value. That is the mentality that a lot of these elites have, right? And will are willing to do any questionable action to make money, right? People run, slavery rings, sex trafficking because money doesn't have size. There is no moral dilemma. Business is business. It's nothing personal, right?
You're
There
right. You are right.
so
You are definitely
there
right on
is
that.
there is definitely a side when making money and
Yeah.
choosing how to make your
You're
money.
no, you're totally right on that. However, I know you're just trying to be as extreme as possible. The idea of comparing XRP to sex trafficking is
I'm
probably
not
a little bit of a
I'm
stretch,
not
right?
comparing that, it's the same thing, but I'm just comparing an evil institution
Right.
that does not support people's interests.
Yeah.
Why would you align with them, knowing that in the long run you might make money with them in the short run, but in the long run, one way or another, they're gonna screw you.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you. Let me finish up on this real quick. I want to touch on the last part. Bitpoint Initiative has already surpassed 2,000 active users and reported close to $500 million in funds moved through cryptocurrency since November. The CEO, Hernando Rubio, previously said that the startup is working on an upcoming integration with the Latin American cryptocurrency exchange Ripio to increase the customer base as well as the services offered. Bottom line, okay, we are headed to a place that we couldn't fathom 5 years ago. And I'm super, super excited about it. I'm excited that crypto is not only becoming mainstream, but it's actually, listen, a lot of our investments are still very speculative, right? But every single day, crypto's starting to be used, Miguel. And we've had this discussion, like it's actually finally happening. For so long, it was a sexy way to make a bet that like, oh, I bet this is going to do this. I bet this is going to do that. Listen, the bets are coming to fruition, and my bets that I made 5 years ago are giving me life-changing gains. And so here's why I'm saying this, because it is not too late for you. If you are new, right? First of all, X out of the live chat for 2 seconds, smash the like. That really helps tell other people you've enjoyed the stream. We appreciate that. And if you're not subscribed, we're giving away $500 December 23rd. All you have to do is be subscribed. So make sure you do that. But it's not too late. It is not too late. It's not too late to sign up for Debate Crypto Academy if you want to get educated. It's not too late to actually just then, after getting educated, buy in somewhere. Not financial advice, obviously. The fact is, we are still early. I believe that the number is something around 3% of the entire world is actively using or invested or involved in cryptocurrency. That's a very, very small number, which tells me
the number might
that we
even
have
be
a long
smaller
way
than
to
that.
go.
The number might actually even be smaller than that. I want to share one thing with the people here as well. Something I saw on Twitter from Invest Answers, which, by the way, I want to get this guy on our channel.
Well, let's do it. Let's make it
Very
happen.
bad. So,
We
guys,
got a bunch of people coming on here soon. Wendy's
so
coming on Wednesday, by the way, guys. Just FYI.
Yep. So, guys, if you guys see him on Twitter, Invest Answers right here, shoot him a tweet. Say, hey, come on to Debate Crypto, and let's make it happen, guys. So he made this analysis. He showed this, right? This in the 30K summer floor happened 3 months ago. We had then $10,000 movement, 86% up in 46 days. Then we came back down to September 40K support level. Another 3 months have gone by since then. We've been up 72% from that bottom in 46 days. And now we've come back down to the 49K December support. If this December support holds and this analysis continues growing the pattern that he points out, we could be having that extended bull run and have another, 72, 80 something percent up in the next 3 months. So pack your bags while you can, boys.
Yeah,
Opportunity won't last forever.
That's a fact. That's a really interesting chart. Some of my issues with some of those projections, while it looks really nice when you put it out there, right? Some of my problem with it is this market doesn't. They are not. There's no backroom dealings where people are sitting around saying, "Hey, let's just go up in $10,000 steps. Let's blast off, come back, blast off, come back." Now it would work, right? I think that if you gave me enough time with some charts, I could come up with some cool patterns. That being said, this extended cycle more and more, as much, man, I'm still having a hard time actually, because here's the thing. It changes. Everybody has been wrong right now, Miguel. We were talking about this, right? Everybody. So listen, so far, everyone with the exception of Benjamin Cowan, and even him, he was wrong on a number of things, but has been wrong. He is talking about an extended cycle, May, June, July, out at that point, which we won't know until we get out there, right? BitBoy, wrong, right? Me, wrong. Miguel, wrong. Blockchain Boy, wrong. Wendy, wrong. All of these people are Jeb, wrong. All of these people are wrong. Why? Because this market doesn't care about our social media. This market doesn't care about our speculation. This market doesn't care about our analysis. This market cares about this market, right? And whatever these institutions want to do to play the game, they're going to play. And so the reason that we always talk about winning over the long term and talk about that spread out looking at 2030 and beyond is because that, my friend, is where it is going to be. Winning long. I mean, you're going to be winning long term.
I want to address this comment here too. People saying, funny, people always analyze the upside, but never the downside. The reason why the downside doesn't need to be analyzed, in my personal opinion, and it's simple. Whenever you feel that you've made enough profits, pull out, right? Whether it's 25%, 50% of your position, start
unless
pulling on your initial investment.
It's at 40K, then you've got paper hands.
Huh?
Unless it's at 40K, then you've got paper.
Well, because you're panic selling on the way down. But I'm talking about going on the way up. So If on the way up you've made money and you say, "Hey, you want to? I want to get out." You get out, right? The downside is only short term. The downside is not forever. It's not like, oh, Bitcoin's going to go into a bear market for the next 10 years and it's never going to go up a penny again. So definitely be taking profits, guys. The downside is very short term, a year and a half at most, before we have the next Bitcoin halving happen, the next shock supply, the next big upward movement happens. So that's why the downside, in my personal opinion, is not that important. If you're on your way up and you're not taking profits, well, then maybe you should be, right? And not, instead of focusing on the downside, because when you focus on the downside, all you're saying to me is, I'm trying to get the top, so I know exactly when the downside is going to happen, so I can sell at the very top. What does
It's
that
a
mean?
fairy tale.
Greed.
It's a fairy
It's
tale.
a fairy tale, and it's greed, right? Instead
Yeah.
of just taking your profits on the way up, you're just so focused on that moment it's going to start heading down to get the very top, and it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, which is that Bart saying, the whales could be playing games, get our hopes up the next few days and dump on us. We'll see. Listen, you could absolutely be right, and that could be right at any time, which is why we talk about taking profits, right? Because the reality is, unless your game plan is to just hold indefinitely, which is a great plan, you will win with that, right? You will win with that. But if you need some of this capital, if you want to try to get close to the top, pull profits, wait, accumulate more in the bear market, whatever, fantastic, that's awesome. But the reality is, we don't ever know. And buying every bottom and selling every top, or even buying the bottom and selling the top, is a fairy tale, or a winning of a lottery ticket, which is ultimately what it is. And I never recognized it until I got into crypto, because when in the stock market, the moves are not so crazy, right? And so you don't see your portfolio, doing this. You'll have a couple percent down and then a couple percent up, and then, oh my gosh, a 5% move, right? Crypto is like, I wake up in the morning. I'll never forget May 12th, wake up in the morning, and I looked at my phone, and I literally thought like my eyes were like lying to me, right? I was like, no, I didn't. I missed the first number. Oh, no, I didn't. That number was correct. It was such a huge move, and you just don't see that in
Yeah.
the
So
stock
we got a
market.
good question over here that was early on the stream, and unfortunately we didn't get to it so early. So what are the top 5 coins going into 2022, 2023? Go ahead, take it first.
So that's a tough question. I'll tell you why I think that's a tough question. Because in my estimation, 2022 to 2023, I believe that, unless something changes, that we're going to be in a bear market. I think that we are going to flip back into a bear market. We're having Wendy on Wednesday, and she just did a TikTok the other day talking about how she doesn't think that we're going to have another bear market, which, by the way, debate crypto. We're going to get to it, right? We're going to talk about it, right? We're super excited to have her on to talk about that, because I think it's a really interesting thought. But 2022, 2023, I'll tell you a few of them that I missed this cycle, that I'd like to see if they're back around, or accelerating, or that I feel that we can win with, right?
Yeah.
One of them is, without question, quant. I like some of the technicals of quant. I like what quant does. That's definitely one of them. Number two that I want to look at accumulating, and I'll tell you, this one is strictly because I see what all the other exchanges are doing, and talking to Ben about it, Armstrong, FTT, which is FTX. I see that's another exchange coin. All of these exchange coins have done wild numbers. FTT, which is FTX, has not yet, and Sam Bankman-Fried, who owns FTX, has his freaking hands in everything. So I think that's a second huge one. And then I'll give you a third, because I wasn't prepared for this question, so I'm gonna give you a third. A third is going to be a metaverse play, but I don't know. I think Gold Fever. We've been talking about Gold Fever, and I think that Gold Fever is going to be a huge opportunity. And then listen, the other two are going to be exactly what's at the top of my portfolio right now: ETH and Bitcoin. I'm planning on taking a bunch of profits, waiting for the markets to tumble, and I'm going to reaccumulate like a freaking savage with Bitcoin and Ethereum. So those would be, my top two that I'd be pulling from.
Yeah. Outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum, I would definitely be looking into.
Great question, by the way.
Yeah, to be scooping up some Avalanche. I'm gonna be scooping up some Engine Coin. I'm gonna be scooping up some Phantom. I'm gonna be scooping up some.
Avalanche is a good one for
Yeah,
sure.
I just looked at it, man. Where'd it go? What was it? What was it? I was literally just looking at it.
Talon just said BTC is flowing back into exchanges right now. Side note, just telling you that.
Oh, Elrond. That's the other one I was gonna say. I was gonna scoop up some Elrond. I had Elrond earlier this bull run, sold it for a profit, bought myself some helium miners with it. That's what I did with it. And probably Terra Luna, if anything. Take a look at that as it goes into the bear market, see where it goes.
There's a lot of interesting assets that I like to see what happens.
I don't understand taking profits. Yeah, me either. Bitcoin's the best. Just hold it forever.
Oh, you're such a smart ass. So listen, you said once you sell some crypto, after it goes up, then these channels tell you about a great coin. There goes your profits sometimes. So listen, Anthony, let me tell you in a perfect scenario. It's not there goes your profits. Here's a perfect scenario, okay? You have an asset, right, that makes you a nice little chunk of change, right? You pull profits from that and you move those profits into an asset that you believe can then make more profits, more of a percentage gain than the previous, right? So if you had Bitcoin, you take profits from Bitcoin and move it into Ethereum. This is actually how the money flow in crypto works, okay? You will see Bitcoin run, at least for now, and has been. You'll see Bitcoin run. People will then take profits from Bitcoin and they will dump it into ETH. You will see ETH run. They will take profits from ETH. They will drop it into mid-cap alts. You will see mid-cap alts start to run, and then they'll dump into some lower cap and some crap coins. Ultimately, that is the cycle and money flow of crypto. That is the goal, right, for a lot of people. But ultimately, that doesn't have to be the goal. You don't, like Miguel said, you don't have to take profits. It's not something you have to do. If for you, you say, listen, I believe in this long term. I don't want the headache. I don't want the risk. I just want to accumulate. Then hey, keep accumulating. Dollar cost average. Buy, no matter where the market is. Buy. Because at the end of the day, you are going to win with that. And ultimately, Anthony, think about this with the last part you said sometimes it's the same coin. Runs, you take profits, it drops, you buy, take profits after it runs. You literally could rinse and repeat if you knew, you know what I mean? If you could buy those local bottoms, sell those tops, you could continue to do that over and over and over.
I also want to point
Incredible
out
opportunity.
that some of the best people that have gotten rich have been long-term
Yep,
traders,
for sure.
not short-term traders, right?
For
Short-term
sure.
traders make
Long-term
money.
hodlers.
Yeah, make money for, the short term for,
Mm-hmm.
something to live off of, but they're not
Yep.
getting financially free off
Yep.
short-term action, right? Real
Yep.
estate people, why? They've owned a lot of real estate and they have it all rented out. They got cash flow, long-term play. That's not a short-term play, right? Uh, Warren Buffett, long-term investor. A lot of investors that have made a lot of huge money to become financially independent have been long-term holders.
Yep. That's a fact. That's a fact. Crypto fam, check it out. We appreciate each and every one of you. Just as a reminder, smash a like, make sure you're subscribed. We're giving away $500 December 23rd. Somebody's going to get an early Christmas present. Let it be you. Just make sure you're subscribed. If nobody has told you before today, guys, we freaking love you. We appreciate each and every one of you. And until next time, hodl
Auto
like it's
like
hot.
it's